Hey everybody, Cornfed here, and today I'm bringing you the first episode of my new series called Tech on Deck. If you followed my channel in the past, you would know that I basically stuck to video game videos, such as unboxings, gameplay videos, reviews, pickup videos, that sort of stuff. But I decided I want to expand the channel more on other tech stuff as well, so I decided to come up with this new series, Tech on Deck. Tech on Deck is going to feature all sorts of tech products that I receive. I'm going to do unboxings, reviews, demonstrations, and that sort of stuff on them. And today I decided my first episode of Tech on Deck is going to be this. It's the Pro Cocktail Arcade Cabinet from Rec Room Masters. Their website's recroommasters.com. I will put a link in the description below. And I'll go ahead and go over the machine, tell you what all I got with it, what comes in the box, what I had to add to it, and just pretty much go over the whole machine for you. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. Okay, as I was saying, this is the Pro Cocktail Arcade Cabinet from Rec Room Masters. I'll go ahead and go over what came in the box. The price was $499 plus shipping. When I ordered it, I had to wait about 2 weeks. They were in production, so they go through line of production and then they ship out so many orders, and then they repeat over and over again. So I had to wait a couple weeks, but it was well worth the wait. In the box, I got, of course, the cabinet itself. I purchased this coin door from X Arcade. I'll go over a little bit more about that later on. But they don't ship the coin door. It's actually just a blank black metal plate there with the lock on it, so that there's no coin mechanism in it. So that's just covered up. The version I ordered came with the 2 control panels. Okay, sorry about that. I went ahead and turned on the lights. I'll move this chair all the way here. As I was saying, the version I ordered came with 2 of the control panels pre-wired with buttons and everything already installed. So all I had to do was run the wire back through the panel here. There's a hole back there. Run it through and hook it up through there. So I didn't have to wire any of the buttons or anything. You can order it without the controllers. I believe it's $100 cheaper without the control panel already wired and everything for you. So it's pretty easy to swap out the buttons. I had never wired any arcade buttons or anything like that, so I wasn't sure how easy it would be for me to do it. But after getting this, down inside the bottom of the cabinet underneath, there's an iPack an iPack board on each panel that's wired up to the iPack, and then it's run through USB in through back in, and then hooked up to the computer that's on the inside. Excuse me. On the other side, back behind, I'm not going to pull it all the way out and everything. There's another door back there. Big opening. I'll show you here up front. It's a little bit bigger than probably, yeah, that big. I mean, it's hard to explain, but there's a bigger door back there to give you access to your computer. That's whatever computer you're using. Speakers, if you install speakers, which I'll get into later. I have to use that to get to my coin door, to my coins and everything. And yeah, like I said, there's 2 of the control panels. There's the second one with the 2-player start button, which I'll go over later. But that's everything that comes with it. It comes with, and it also came with the plexiglass top. You can order it with or without. I'm not sure how much price difference it is with or without it. With kids and everything, I went ahead and got it just because I know it's going to protect it much better, protect the screen and everything. And here's the top. This overlay that's on here, I designed myself and sent to Rec Room Masters, which they printed and sent to me. And it's on a thicker vinyl type material that goes on pretty easily. I had no problem putting it on myself, and it looks really, really good. I like it. And of course, there's a screen with Pac-Man playing. So yeah, that's everything that came with it. And next, I'll go ahead and go over some things that I had to get separately for it. So now that I've gone over everything that came with it, which of course was the cabinet, the controls, pre-wired, the plexiglass, the overlay, which I didn't mention I had to pay an extra $30 for it, but I designed it myself, and they just printed it off for an extra $30 and sent it with the cabinet. and yeah. But the things it doesn't come with is the display and the computer itself, which is running the games itself. You can run pretty much anything. You can run consoles, you can run computers, whatever you want to run. But I had an old laptop that I had. I just threw it in there, put some MAME ROMs on it. I'm running Hyperspin, and I made a custom theme on there, and I have about 30 games on here that I can run. So I have my old laptop in there hooked up through HDMI to this. This is a 24-inch TV actually. It says, the website on Rec Room Master says it supports up to a 23-inch screen. I found this 24-inch TV pretty cheap, and it said on the box it has a 23.6 or 8-inch screen, something like that. So I got it hoping that it would fit, and it actually fit perfectly in here. One thing I wanted to mention about if you're buying a new display for one, a couple things you want to make sure is that it has HDMI capability, of course, or whatever you're going to be hooking up your computer through. Second of all, make sure it has the VESA mounts on the back, the 4 screw holes on the back of the monitor, because the monitor or screen, TV, whatever you have, it's going to sit on a board. Comes with a board for you to mount it onto, and it has 2 narrow oval cutouts on the board where you're going to screw in the 4 VESA mount screws. You're going to lay the monitor on it, lay the board on the monitor, and screw in those 4 holes in those slots. So you want to make sure that it has those 4 screw holes. Otherwise, you're going to have to buy an adapter or something like that, and that might not work out because it's going to end up being too thick in the end. So make sure it has them right there on the monitor or TV itself. And also, another thing I wanted to mention when you're looking for a screen for your cabinet is to make sure that the whatever input you're going to be using, whether it's HDMI, VGA, whatever input you're going to be using, and also the power cable, come out of the bottom of the display instead of out the back of it. Because, as I said, it's mounted onto this board that only has the 2 narrow slots for the VESA screws. And so this screen actually had the power cable and the HDMI both come out the back, straight into the back of the TV. So what I had to do is I actually had to modify that board that this mounts onto. I had to cut out areas for the HDMI and the power cable to go into. Otherwise, if you didn't do that, you'd have to the only way really, you'd have to smash the board down onto those cables. And doing that, you're going to ruin the cables. You could mess up the internals of the TV or the monitor. You could mess up the ports. And I didn't want to do that, and it wouldn't even sit flat. I mean, you have to really force it down, and still, I don't think it would sit flat. So you're going to have your display's going to be sitting like this instead of flat down like it is now. So I had to cut out those slots for those ports, which didn't take me very long, but it's just something good to know before you go out looking for a monitor if you don't want to do those modifications. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to mention, another reason that I got a TV instead of a monitor. Not only was this cheaper at the time, but actually, that way I can have a remote handy. That way whenever I want to just turn off the screen, if we're in here watching a movie or something and I don't want the screen on, I can easily just use the remote, turn it off, and it's off. I don't have to touch this computer. I don't have to pull this out, touch the computer or anything like that. Plus it's easier to turn it on and off, so that's another good reason to purchase a TV over a monitor. So now that I've talked about the TV display monitor, whatever you want to use, another thing, as I said, that you have to purchase separately would be the computer or whatever you're using to run the games. Like I said, I have my old laptop down in there. I'm not going to pull it out or anything, but it sits right in the middle here. And you pretty much just, if you're running MAME, you just need, you don't even need anything really new or anything fancy. And like I said, this is an older laptop. It's run pretty much every game I put on there that I want to play. Just last night, me and my girlfriend played through the Simpsons arcade game, one of my favorite arcade games from when I was a kid. And we played through that last night, no problems. And it worked really well. Another thing about the display, well, it's not really part of the display, but with MAME, when I was debating between getting a cocktail cabinet like this or a traditional stand-up cabinet, one thing that I wasn't sure about with the cocktail cabinet is, with only a 23-inch screen, how big is the screen going to be big enough when it's split up from player 1 and player 2? I mean, is it going to be big enough that it's not taken away from the gameplay? And with MAME, there's a setting in MAME that you can go to, which I can show you here in a few minutes. You can go in and turn it to cocktail mode, which will literally split the screen in half and flip this one that way. That way, player 2 over there can see everything the exact same as player 1 does, just like on a real cocktail arcade cabinet. Which is, I mean, and it works really, really well. I play everything. I play Donkey Kong on here, Pac-Man, like I said, Simpsons, Sunset Riders. I even play NBA Jam on here, and even with it split, I have no problem with the screen size or anything like that. So it works out much better than I thought it would. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. But as I was saying, I'm running an old laptop. It's hooked up through. It has an HDMI port. It's hooked up from HDMI up to the monitor. Running MAME with Hyperspin front end, and it works out really well for me. One thing I did purchase, since I had the laptop down there and I don't always want to pull it out and open up the laptop and have to make changes if I want to add ROMs or I need anything I need to change on the computer part of it. I went out and got I ordered it online. It's let me get it up here. It's a small wireless keyboard and mouse combo. I got this on Amazon. I believe it's Rebrand, RII. Yeah, here you go. It's Mini X1. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put a link to this on in the description below too as well. But I bought this for specifically for this. That way, if I need to make any changes, I can turn this on. I can exit out of here and make whatever changes I need right here without having to even touch the laptop. And it works really nice. I haven't had any problems with it yet. And also I can use this to adjust the volume. Okay, sorry about that. Had a little problem with the camera. Camera died, so I had to switch cameras. But as I was saying, I use the wireless keyboard and mouse. I use this to control anything on the laptop that I need to, if I need to make any changes or anything on the laptop. And also I can use this to control the volume. Which, speaking of volume, the cabinet itself down below here actually has, on each side, has cutouts for speakers. So if you want to hook up external speakers from your computer or laptop, whatever you're using in the cabinet, you can hook them up, set them by those cutouts, and then it has better audio. I don't really care to have this too loud in here. There's no need for me to have it real loud or have real good audio quality, so I'm just using the laptop speakers and using the combo here to turn the volume up and down when needed, and it works just fine for me. But like I said, other people that want better audio quality, there's the option to hook up the external speakers and set them up by the cutouts for the speakers to get the better sound quality out of the cabinet. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the setup and the build of the machine itself. Total setup time for me was about an hour. A lot of people could probably do it in less time, but like I said, I did have to modify that the board, the mount for the display for the cables. So that took me a little bit longer, but in total it took me about an hour. And it's very simple. The instructions they send are very straightforward. Everything you need is in the box. They send you the wrenches, everything you need, all the bolts, and it goes together really well. When it's together, I mean, I have no complaints at all about the build quality. It's just as good, if not better, than any cocktail cabinet I've seen anywhere. So, build quality is excellent. The controllers, I didn't mention before, they're all black. All the buttons are black. It does have the player 1 and player 2 start buttons, but the buttons can be switched out easily to different colors if you want to purchase different colored buttons and change it up. But it's all black, which I have no problem with. And speaking of the buttons, like I said, they're all wired into an iPad controller on each side. Each one has their own iPad controller, and which the output of it is USB. They just run through the cabinet and into plug into HDMI USB of your computer, laptop, whatever you're running inside of the cabinet. The iPack, it's very simple to set up. You can download the iPack programming utility. So if you want to change any of the buttons, which I have done, and I can kind of tell you what I did in a little bit. But you can download that program, change the input of the buttons. The buttons actually act as a keyboard, so each button on the arcade, on the panels, go to a different keyboard key. And there's 10 buttons in total on each panel, so 20 keys on your keyboard, plus your up, down, left, right of your joystick. I didn't mention it before, but the panels have the 6 action buttons on it. The joystick. It also has the start button, it's a coin button right next to it to insert coins in MAME, and then it also has 2 flipper buttons on the side. And I'll kind of go over how I reprogrammed them and how they're programmed to start with, and what I reprogrammed them to make it work for me in just a second. But yeah, so let's run through USB, and then, as I said, I purchased the coin door, which now you can't see on this camera. Purchased that separately from X-Arcade. We wanted a more authentic arcade feel, so we got the working coin door. It actually really simple to wire up. It's actually wired up to hook up right to one of your buttons. If you want the button and the coin door to work the same key, you can just hook them up together with a little splitter, and then it'll run to the iPack and then USB to the computer and work out the same key. But you can actually I actually ended up wiring the coin door to its own spot on the Player One iPack, so it actually has its own button assignment, its own key assignment, and I've set up my MAME to where the coin door is the only inserting quarter is the only way to add coins to the machine. If you don't want that, of course, you can keep the coin button set to where it inserts coins, and you can just put in as many coins as you want just by hitting that button over and over and over again. But like I said, we wanted a more authentic experience with the cabinet, so the coin slot is the only way in order for you to enter coins into the machine. And the rewiring and everything was pretty simple. I figured out real quick. And if anybody wants to know how to do it, they can message me and I can talk them through it, or if needed, I can even make a video on it too. It wouldn't be that hard to do. So like I said, the coin door is 100% works. It's the only way to insert coins in this machine right now. And but I'll go ahead and talk over what else that I want to talk about. I can just kind of go ahead and show you how I reassign all the buttons and everything. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So I think I went over everything I wanted to go over with you about the Rec Room Masters Pro Cocktail Arcade Cabinet. I know I kind of rushed the video. I'm short on time and I want to get this done. Actually going camping this weekend, so I'm trying to get ready for all that. But anyways, if you have any questions about it, feel free to send me a message. If you haven't already, please follow this channel. Like I said, this is the first episode. I'll have a lot more coming. All different sorts of tech things. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram at CornFedVGC, and also on Twitch at CornFedVGC. I am starting to do a lot more online streams and everything, which I plan on putting those videos, those streams on here on YouTube once I get them done. I just haven't started doing that yet. And yeah, that is the first episode of Tech on Deck. There'll be many more to come, but thanks for watching.